Hello, Sandy employees. Welcome to the 2019-2020 Sandy City Harassment Training. This is Barbara Higgins, and in the email that we sent out to all employees was the link for the sexual harassment brochure. So we encourage all of you to either download that brochure or to have it bookmarked so that you have access to it when you need to refer to it for information. We also will be reviewing it in this presentation. So first, harassment is a serious subject. It is the city's policy to regard sexual harassment as a very serious matter and to prohibit it in the workplace or among the workforce by any person and in any form. The city also prohibits inappropriate sexual conduct, which includes, but is not limited to, unwelcome sexual flirtations, advances, propositions, or touching, verbal or written abuse of a sexual nature, graphic verbal comments about an individual's body, sexually degrading words used to describe an individual, display in the workplace of sexually suggestive objects or pictures, and any other conduct of a sexual nature which is inappropriate for the workplace. Each employee is responsible for creating an atmosphere free of discrimination and harassment, sexual or otherwise unlawful, and for respecting the rights of their coworkers. The protected classes are race, color, religion, sex, pregnancy, childbirth, or pregnancy-related conditions, national origin, age, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, genetics, protected veteran status, or any other class protected by applicable federal, state, and local employment laws. If you feel you have been subjected to or witnessed any job-related harassment based on sex, race, or any of the protected classes we just mentioned, or believe you or someone else has been treated in an unlawful or discriminatory manner, you shall file an oral or written complaint of harassment, discrimination, or retaliation, or all of the above with the Division of Human Resources, your immediate supervisor, or any other supervisor within your direct chain of command. Please remember that we in HR are here for you. If the investigation concludes that an employee has inappropriately harassed or discriminated against another person, appropriate disciplinary action will be taken against the offending employee, up to and including termination. There are two types of harassment. First is quid pro quo, or this for that. This is the traditional form of harassment involving the promise of a job benefit, such as a promotion or passing of an essential exam required for your job, or a threat of a detriment, such as a demotion, not receiving a raise, something like that, in return for sexual favors, typically seen in cases of sexual harassment. The other type of harassment is hostile work environment, and this would be where you are under one of those protected classes and are harassed based on one of those classes. It's conduct based on one of those protected characteristics that creates an intimidating, hostile work environment, regardless of whether it is of an economic impact upon the employee, and it must be identified as severe or pervasive and unwelcome. So how do you deal with sexual harassment? Let's first watch this short video.
On the surface, reaction 3, I am who I am, take it or leave it, is an honest, straightforward way to live. But does that mean you never change your behavior? You never edit what you say or do to avoid offending others?
Oh, gosh! Son of a... Big gorilla!
Most of us instinctively adjust our behavior to fit our surroundings. We filter what we say and do. Most of us.
George was a much greatly admired friend to all.
Hello. Oh, hey, what's up with you? What? Oh, no, nothing really. It's just a family thing. No big deal.
We all know people who are missing some critical social filters. They seem to be unaware of where they are or who they are with.
Are you kidding? I don't know half these people.
Whatever pops into their head comes straight out of their mouth. Filters are a natural part of life as a social human being. At work, these same filters are the key to putting our sexuality on hold and showing respect to others. For example, let's say you think someone you work with would enjoy a suggestive cartoon or email. Before you send it, ask yourself, would I send this to my grandma? This is appropriately called the grandma filter. Or let's say you think someone you work with looks particularly attractive one day. Rather than offering a suggestive remark about your coworker's body, ask yourself, how would I compliment my grandma?
That's a pretty outfit.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. It was on sale.
See how it works? Compliment someone's fashion, not their body. Or better yet, compliment their work rather than their appearance. When in doubt, ask yourself,
Would you say that to your grandma? If the answer is no, don't say it,
Don't send it.
or do it. Because you know better.
you are who you are. Maybe you can't control how you think, but with your grandma filter, you have complete control over how you interact with others at work.
So please always remember your grandma filter. So when trying to ask yourself if your behavior is welcome, avoid being accused of harassment. Ask yourself these questions. First, as we talked about in the video, would you be comfortable with your grandma hearing it? Would anyone of your behaviors, if they were to appear on the evening news, would you want them to be known by your mother, spouse, or your grandma? Is there equal power between me and the person I am interacting with? Would I want someone else to act this way toward a person I am in a relationship with? And could my behavior make others around me uncomfortable? Please remember, it's not just the one person that you are interacting with, but those around you that could perceive your behavior as uncomfortable. Supervisor responsibilities. Monitor workplace behavior and enforce respect. Treat all complaints seriously and confidentially. Do not ignore any allegations. Respond to all allegations immediately. Investigate as appropriate. Take appropriate corrective action. Follow up. Ensure no retaliation, and document your actions. Please feel free to contact HR if you as a supervisor have any questions. The Sandy City Complaint Procedure. So what to do if you feel that you or someone you work with is being harassed. So this is stated in the employee handbook. If you feel you have been subjected to or witnessed any job-related harassment based on sex, race, or any other protected characteristic that we mentioned earlier, or you believe that someone else has been treated in an unlawful or discriminatory manner, you should file an oral or written complaint of harassment, discrimination, or retaliation, or all of the above to the Division of Human Resources, your immediate supervisor, or any other supervisor within your direct chain of command. If the investigation concludes that an employee has inappropriately harassed or discriminated against another person, appropriate disciplinary action will be taken against the offending employee up to and including termination. The city prohibits any form of retaliation against you for filing a complaint under this policy or for assisting in a complaint investigation. We mentioned this earlier in the presentation. We want to make sure that everyone understands what the process is if you feel that you've been harassed or that someone you know has been harassed. Which leads us to the sexual harassment pamphlet that the link has been sent out to you. All employees should have this pamphlet. So in this pamphlet, it goes through what the city's equal employment is, what sexual harassment is. We've defined quid pro quo, what hostile work environment is, the sex role stereotyping, gender abuse, individually targeted abuse, and criminal touching. Then it goes into what the complaint procedure is, what verbal harassment is, what nonverbal harassment is, and physical. So we encourage you to go through, review this, so that you have this reference for you or any of your coworkers. Sandy employees are a team committed to enhancing the quality of life in our community through service, partnership, and progress. And we all should be examples of the Sandy City values of accountability, safety and security, being people-focused, having integrity, respect, and showing excellence. And if we all are trying to represent these values, we can have a healthy and productive workplace. Please let us know if you have any questions. Thanks!